What's up everybody, it's June 16th, 2016. It's time for today's episode of Level Up. This is our daily video game news show where we bring you the latest and greatest stories from within the industry as they break. We're carrying on with our E3 week, and today we're going to be going through Ubisoft's E3 press conference. This is our penultimate episode of the week with Sony to close out the week tomorrow. So plenty of announcements from the French publisher, so let's get straight on into it. They kicked off the show with a really kind of weird dance intro. I had no idea what was going on at the start, but then eventually it kind of started to make a little bit more sense, and they announced that Just Dance 2017 is going to be a new game that is coming. It's going to be coming in October 2016 to PS4, Xbox One, all the platforms, including Wii U. And then actually, surprisingly enough, it was announced that it would be coming to Nintendo NX next year, which, correct me if I'm wrong, that might be the first third-party game to be announced for the NX. Obviously, we know Zelda's coming, but I'm pretty sure this is the first one. So it's a huge series for them. I know they make a lot of money out of it. I have no interest in it, and I'm sure a lot of gamers don't. But for the casual community, it is definitely one for it. This was Aisha Tyler who returned to host the show once again, and she talked about how it's Ubisoft's 30th birthday this year, and it's a really big, exciting time for them. And they launched into the game that they closed their show out with last year, which is Ghost Recon Wildlands. They gave us a new trailer, which looked really, really cool, and it's all about basically taking down this drug cartel that's in Bolivia, and it's a massive, big open world. You can take it on single player, or you can do up to 4-player co-op. It looks really, really awesome. They showed off a mission where they had to extract this cook from there, and it just looks so cool. I'm really excited to play this. I was a big fan of Ghost Recon back in the day, and they put a date on it. It's March 7th, 2017. So a little bit of a way off at the moment, nearly 9 months, but definitely one to look forward to, and I'm sure that will come sooner than you think. Then, after that, they moved on to another big game, which is South Park: The Fractured Butthole. I can't wait for this game. If anyone knows me, they'll know that I'm a massive, massive South Park fan. I've watched every single episode of Trey and Matt's TV show. Trey and Matt were actually there. They came on the stage and they talked a little bit more about the game, and they said that it basically picks up where the Stick of Truth left off, but rather than playing fantasy, the boys are now going to be playing superheroes. And the whole premise of it is that they're talking about how they're going to make their successful movie franchise, obviously playing off what's happening with Marvel in the real world, and then eventually there's a split between which way they can do it, so they end up making a civil war. It looks really, really cool, and they said that if you pre-order the game, you will get a copy of The Stick of Truth, which is an absolutely fantastic game, by the way, one of the very best of last generation. You get a copy of that for PS4, Xbox One for free. If you buy it digitally, I think you get it right now, but if you buy it at retail, then you'll get it when the game releases. They put a date on it as well, and it's going to be coming in December 6th. Sorry. So that is definitely going to be coming this year, which I'm really excited for. I didn't expect it to be quite so soon. I was kind of hoping, but there you go, December 6th, a nice time, just when the October, November started to die down a little. Then we heard a little bit more about The Division, saying how they've had 10 million players. They showed us the Underground expansion, which we saw briefly at Xbox's press conference, reaffirming that it's the 28th of June on Xbox One and the August the 2nd on PS4. So exclusive deal for Xbox, and the mission's randomly generated, so it'll be different every single time. They also took this as an opportunity to talk to us about, they're saying about the 30th anniversary of Ubisoft, and for Uplay subscribers, which I'm sure most of you are, you will get a outfit, skin, whatever you want to call it, of a Ghost Recon character, a Rainbow Six character, and a Splinter Cell character. All of those outfits will be available for free. As you can probably tell, I'm a big Splinter Cell fan, so really excited to get the Sam Fisher costume out for my Division agent. Can't wait to do that. They also showed us a little bit of the survival trailer, which is the big, when the snowstorms really hit Manhattan, and that looks really cool. Then they moved on to the VR, a little bit of a VR segment. They showed us Eagle Flight, which we first saw, I believe, at PSX. They brought on an on-stage demo of some co-op, which they were calling, what were they calling it? They were calling it Capture the Prey, which was effectively Capture the Flag as PvP. I'll be honest, the game didn't look quite as good as I thought it was going to. When we saw that trailer at PSX, it looked a lot more realistic, but it still looks like fun. I'm intrigued to see how this works. Obviously, the idea of flight must be must feel pretty good in the VR, and everyone seemed to be enjoying it on the stage. They had Oculus guys and Ubi guys, and it looks like a fun game. It's coming to all platforms this year, so something to look forward to for you PlayStation VR fans out there. Next up, we got another VR game, which strangely enough was a Star Trek game. Didn't expect to see this. This came completely out of left field, but basically it's called Star Trek Bridge Crew, and effectively you play cooperatively and you control the Enterprise. To be honest, I know it's Star Trek and I know there's lots of fans of Star Trek, but it looked very, very boring in my mind. I mean, just controlling the ship and stuff was like, okay, but what else? It seemed a bit gimmicky to me, but maybe there'll be something more. That's also coming this fall to all platforms. They then returned to their normal games or their bigger games, and they showed more of For Honor. They showed a new trailer which looked really cool, talking about the Knights, Samurai and Vikings. They then showed us some gameplay of the Vikings, which looks really, really cool. Still not quite sold on it, but it does look beautiful. The combat looks really awesome, I will say that. And they did say that it'd be coming out on February the 14th, 2017. So they're filling up their Q1 2017 already now with For Honor and Ghost Recon, so that's looking pretty cool. They then brought out Grow Up, which is a smaller game. If you remember Grow Home, that came out last year, it was free on PlayStation Plus. This is a sequel to that, and they were talking about how Bud is back, but no one seemed to care. The guy on stage was really excited, but he's basically just fell on deaf ears. I don't think anyone really cares about this game, but it's coming in August 2016 if anyone was a fan of the first game. They then brought out some guys who were developers of Trials Fusion, which is a really popular multiplayer motorbike game, and then there was the Blood Dragon, which was the Far Cry 3 expansion standalone DLC, and those two games have had a baby, and now it's called Trials of the Blood Dragon. Think Trials Fusion, but with the cyberpunk kind of theme skin on it. That's available right now. You can go and download that and check that out. I probably will check it out because I was a big fan of Trials, I was a big fan of Blood Dragon, so in theory I should like this game. They then went on to Assassin's Creed. They said they can't have a Ubisoft conference without Assassin's Creed. Obviously, there's no Assassin's Creed game this year, but what they did show was a little bit of a movie. I was like, what the hell are you doing? This is an E3 video game press conference. Why are you showing a movie? You get this whole idea. This conference was way too long, and just shoving in the movie, shoving in Grow Up, everything just went on way too long, and I don't know why that was there. But for those of you that are interested, the film is coming out December 21st. It's probably going to be terrible because all video game movies are, but I'll live in hope until I'm proved otherwise. We then saw Watch Dogs 2. They finally came back to the games that we actually cared about. Showed us a lot more Watch Dogs. Showed us a scene in the game where you have to infiltrate political building and kind of download some data and steal some data. Looks really, really cool. I'm really, really excited to play this game on November 15th. Can't wait for that. They then also brought out a guy from Sony on the stage who was talking a little bit more about Watch Dogs and saying how they're partnering up once again, and not only are they going to be bringing a DLC or the DLC exclusive for 30 days on PS4 beforehand, so that's good for Sony fans. They also announced that there's going to be a film coming, so a Watch Dogs film will be in the making. It looks like Ubisoft is trying and kind of get into this film business, obviously Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs, so Watch Dogs I could potentially be interested in, as long as it follows maybe Watch Dogs 2 rather than Aiden Pierce, because he was a very blank character. And then they ended the Watch Dogs 2 segment with another trailer, different from the reveal one that we saw just before E3, which looks cool again. I'm sold on this game, 100%. I know there's maybe some people out there that may be a little bit skeptical, but I can't wait to play this game. Everything is hackable. The game looks fun. You can play the whole game non-lethally. The new protagonist has more personality than Aiden Pierce, and we've only seen him for maybe 10 minutes in trailers and gameplay footage. But yeah, really on board with that one. We then ended the show with some brand new IP. So I wasn't expecting this one. They did say that they were bringing new IP that was going to have some kind of MMO elements, and we were all thinking, oh, what's it going to be? What's it going to be? And they announced the game. It's going to be called Steep. And this is as I said, online connected MMO, open world, extreme sports game. They're made from their studio that basically is based at the bottom of the Alps, and it's got the whole of the Alps area, Mont Blanc and all of that, kind of the big snowboarding, skiing, whatever you want to call it. And this game is part snowboarding, part skiing, part paragliding, part wingsuiting. I don't know if that's what it's called, but you can do all 4 of these seamlessly, whatever you want to do at any time. It looks pretty cool. It's got obviously huge MMO elements. You kind of interact with everyone on the hills. You can set challenges for them, doing runs and stuff. And the thing that is cool about this is, well, they've got the GoPro licensing with it, but you do have GoPro camera, and there was a segment in the trailer where the skier goes into first person, and it looks really, really fast and intense. So it's definitely one I'm intrigued about. Whether or not I was a big fan of the SSX series, whether or not it's going to be like that. Obviously, it's probably not going to be as extreme as that. It's going to add a little bit more realism, but what's the objective of this game? Is it just going around and snowboarding or abseiling and kind of beating times? Hopefully we'll find a little bit more about it. You can sign up to a beta right now if you go to steepgame.com, and they also said this game was coming in December 2016, which I don't necessarily buy. Like, they've already got Watch Dogs 2 in the middle of November, and then they're going to have the Fractured But Whole and Steep both in December. That seems a little bit weird to me. I don't know. I think one of those games may get delayed, even though they've obviously got February and March also booked out with For Honor and Ghost Recon. It just seems weird that they couldn't maybe get a game in October, so they could have October, November, December. But that's what they've said, so we will have to wait and see what happens with that. I've signed up to the beta because I'm really intrigued to see more of this, but definitely not one that I'm instantly sold on, but it seemed to get a good reception at the event, so hopefully it'll be something that people look forward to and enjoy. And that was it. Like I said, conference was way too long. It was 2 hours long. Every segment always felt like it was going on a bit too long, with the exception of, I enjoyed South Park section because I'm a massive South Park fan. I could have listened to Matt and Trey speak all day. Watch Dogs was great. I loved Watch Dogs. And the Ghost Recon bit was really cool as well. But everything else, even For Honor, felt way too long. The Star Trek thing didn't really need to be there, I think, personally. Just dance. Okay, yeah, it's a big money maker. I understand that. Even For Honor, the gameplay demo I felt went on way too long. Everything went on way too long. But overall, a solid conference. Nowhere near Xbox's. Probably sits between EA and Bethesda. Slightly better than EA, but not quite as good as Bethesda in my opinion. But that was it. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought about the conference. Are you excited for Steep? Are you excited for Watch Dogs, Ghost Recon, Fractured But Whole, and For Honor? Some really good games there coming to us in the near future. So yeah, let me know down below. Make sure you come back tomorrow where we'll be going through Sony's press conference. Little spoiler, I'm hearing it's a pretty good one, so make sure you come back for that. But for now, thank you very much for watching, everyone. I will see you all next time.